Saturday morning, the Experts program kicks off, and that means that Luis Alvarez of the Alvarez Technology Group is joining us right now. Luis, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Mark. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. So we wanted to talk about the story that you saw in Marketplace the other day that you sent me, and it has to do with voting. And the whole thing is like, well, if we can buy and sell, pay our bills online, do our banking online, why on earth can't we vote? What's stopping us from being able to vote online? And I think this is kind of an apropos subject because right now we just went through an election and they're still counting votes, and there's a lot of controversy over the votes that are being counted and how they're being counted.
Yeah, and that's what really got me to thinking about this, because we're in the 21st century and we've solved all these problems. We've gone to the moon, gone to Mars, but yet somehow we can't vote electronically. It can't vote online, which one would think should be pretty easy and safe and secure. But the problem is when you dig into it and you think about voting, there's so much that is dependent on the actual integrity of the vote that online voting presents some challenges, not the least of which is you cannot control how somebody is connecting to the online platform to cast their vote, right? So if you think about it, when you vote, all the ballots go to one central place or number of central places where they're tabulated, and then you get the results. But if you vote from your computer or you vote from your smartphone or your tablet, what's to say that somebody can't steal information from that tablet, that smartphone, or your PC and vote as you, or change your vote, or somehow create software or malware that can impact that, what we call an endpoint, which cannot be controlled by some, the central agency that would manage this. And that's the biggest thing. It's how do you do this so that it can be safe and secure, and you have proof that the person that did the voting was the person who should have been doing the voting.
That's a good point. And I think there's still a lot of maybe younger people feel like it might be more secure, but there's still a lot of feeling out there that it is too prone to manipulation. I mean, my gosh, our banking information is a big prize for people, but I think the big kahuna, the grand prize of all for hackers would be the ability to change an election in another country because everybody is voting online. And if any country said, hey, we're moving to online voting, it's almost incalculable as to what kinds of resources the hacking world, the black hat world, and particularly state actors, like we know Russia's very much involved in hacking. How much money would Russia pour into R&D of how to disrupt or even change votes in an internet voting system?
Yeah, exactly. I think that you hit it right on the head. Is if somebody hacks into your bank account and steals money, well, all you've done is stolen money. You're hurt, but it's not earth-shattering or life-changing, hopefully. But if somebody was able to hack into our voting process and alter votes in a significant way to basically help decide the election, then you're right. That would be it. That would be the thing that they would do to focus all of their energy on getting in there and disrupting our elections. And it's not just us. When you look around the world, there's only a few countries, and they're relatively small, that have had any success with online voting. And even those countries have been subjected to significant cyber activity to try to disrupt those elections and not just like change votes, but just stop the process completely from happening.
You mean like a DNS?
Yeah, like a DDoS, denial of service attack, where somebody can basically shut down a website or shut down a public-facing server just by attacking it. You can also spoof people, so you can send them a link that looks like they're voting in the system, just like, some people get links that click on that look just like Amazon, and you put in all the information they ask you for, and then they turn around and go to the real site and log in as you, and then vote as they want to vote. So it's a system that hasn't been perfected to the extent that it needs to be. And I can see with things like blockchain, which is what is used for cryptocurrencies, that we might have a bit of a path for online or internet voting, but it's not going to happen anytime in the near future.
Not in our lifetimes, or at the very end, perhaps.
Well, hey, I'm going to live a long time. So
okay, so you're going to live to see it, huh? You're going to live to see your vote changed.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, you mentioned these small countries, very small countries that have tried some form of internet voting, and they've been the subject of attacks. And it isn't necessarily that these very small countries represent anything strategic other than the fact that they are a guinea pig for a larger fish down the road.
Exactly. It's a way to test the tools and test the methodologies for hacking into bigger countries once they start moving to online voting.
All right. Well, people are going to continue to ask about it and want it, and hopefully we've answered a few questions for you this morning with Luis Alvarez, the CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group. Online, it's alvareztg.com, at AlvarezTG. That is your Twitter handle. And Luis, what's the toll-free number for the I-Team?
Give us a call at 866-78-I-TEAM. That's 866-784-8326.